I gotta tell you, I'm glad that last group build is over because now I feel like I have tens of minutes of free time now.
The model stress is gone. I know. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to start working on something now.
Well, I was texting you earlier, telling you that I had the anxiety shit since January.
Whoop.
It happens.
Well,
It's a thing. It's a
well,
thing.
I hope you are okay with, letting open to everyone knowing, things like that because, they're watching.
Time out. Let me just run that through legal real quick.
Okay, okay.
No,
Wait.
legal doesn't like it.
You want to try again?
Yeah.
I brought that. Right. Oh,
All right. Hey, that's looking pretty good.
thank you.
It's still primered.
It's gonna stay primered. That's how it's gonna be.
I have the space battleship Yamato right here.
Oh, that's the thing you've been killing on for a while, huh?
Yep. You know what's crazy is this little guy right here.
Yeah.
Um, I can actually paint at the desk with this.
Yeah, it's got me thinking.
Pretty darn handy. It's pretty darn
Yeah.
handy. And we got some travel plans coming up here. It's going to be taking us to the East Coast. And I'm like, I can probably pack that in a suitcase with some
Yeah,
paint.
there you go. Oh,
Yeah,
talking about some remote model building, huh?
exactly. Call down to room service. Yeah, this is room 713. I need some towels. Stat. Do you have any red
uh,
ones?
well, like I said, everybody's watching.
Hmm.
Now they know. Why don't you want to let people know about what's going on with the fact that you're going to be on the East Coast?
Yes, well, Mrs. BG sort of let it slip in our stash ad video that we did the other day.
Yeah.
And excuse me, that's supposed to be on my lap.
Mm.
Tip top tip. So so we got to be in North Carolina for work stuff for Mrs. BG, and then going to be doing the family thing and stuff since they're going to be like an hour and a half away. Yay! And then I've already seen the texts on Facebook for the itinerary, and I'm like,
Uh,
okay. So apparently, my sister-in-law thinks it's going to be awesome to go to a puppet show. She's going to take her youngest son, who's like 9 years old, and her oldest son, who's 18 years old, and they're going to go to a puppet show. And she's like, maybe Brian would like to go. I'm like, no, Brian would not like to go to a puppet show unless it's saucy. I don't do puppet shows unless they're saucy.
Oh, my tongue out. Oh.
Nothing like them saucy puppet shows.
Oh yeah. I was like, if it's a Punch and Judy, I'm in. I'm totally down with
Oh
that. But
yeah.
those aren't socially acceptable anymore. So
I know. Boy, life's no fun.
yeah.
They're taking all the fun out of life.
Hey, the fun went out of life when I found out I couldn't have Oreo cookies anymore.
Man, what a
So anyway,
drag.
I'm digressing. So we're going to be in the area to literally jet up to Wayne, New Jersey, so we can do
The
NL East.
NNL East, I'm so jealous. I want to go. That would be so cool. It's been one of my that's
Bring
been
it
one
back
of my
something nice.
bucket list shows to go to.
Same here, but the way everything is working out, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity for us. So we're like,
Yeah,
let's just go for it. We thought
absolutely.
about staying in the area, but we're like, Linda did some research and she's like, Midtown Manhattan's like 40 minutes away by car. So we're going to do that. We're going to go stay in Midtown
Well,
Manhattan, go
yeah,
to
have fun with it.
a proper delicatessen. None of this chompy stuff out here.
Oh, there's jealousy number two happening. You're going to be going to not just a proper delicatessen. You're going to go to one of the delicatessens in
Yes. I'm
Manhattan.
going to go to, I'm having what she's having.
Yep.
Delicatessen.
Are you going to sit right in that booth?
There's actually a sign over the seat that points down to it and it says it on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys aren't if you don't want that movie reference, go look it up. Cracking internet.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not going to say it here. We want to
Right.
give you something to do.
Because this is about the model cars.
It's about the model cars, not about delicatessens. And although I love delicatessen, especially that would have been Cat's delicatessen, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And Cat's used to have one here in Phoenix when I moved here in the early 80s.
No way.
Yeah, and we went to it. And it was pretty much a clone.
Nice.
It's sad. Yeah, it was on Central, like north part of Central. It was like right around Cactus and Central or something like that.
You know what I think makes a good delicatessen? The pickles.
100%. The pickles.
If they're opening a jar of Vlasic pickles in the back, I'm like, no, I'm
walk out. You might as well be at Wiener Schnitzel. Not knocking Wiener Schnitzel.
Hey,
believe you me.
I got coupons. It's on the list.
I had a wonderful Reuben sandwich a few days ago that I got from Arby's.
They have the meats.
They got the meats. It was nice. It kind of like, well, I have this yen for a Reuben sandwich, but it wasn't a Cat's Reuben sandwich.
Nope.
That's where I first, got introduced into the Reuben sandwich and other nice, good, kosher delicatessen type sandwiches from places like Cat's and Liberty, New York. Had Singers, which was a real famous one that we would always stop at. Remember, when I was a kid, I grew up in New York State, and we had a lot of family in New York City and on Long Island. So we used to take 2 or 3 times a year.
Just a second. You said it right, folks. You gotta have that G. Long
Island.
Long Island.
Long Island. Thank you for catching that.
You're welcome.
Figured you would.
Well, there's a lady at the counter at the PT clinic I go to, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, "Welcome back in, Brian. It's so nice to see you." And I'm like, "You sound like the GPS in my car. Are you from New York?" And she's like, "As a matter of fact, I am." I'm like, "Long Island?" She goes, "That's right. I'm from Long Island." And
Long Island.
How did you know? I'm like, I'm just, I'm a detective.
Yeah, that's a funny thing. In my whole way of talking, I could talk, say anything. Long Beach, unless it's Long Beach in in Long Island. But whenever I say Long Island, I know, the New Yorker in me has been pre-programmed I have to say it that way.
I had a friend in community college. He was from Long Beach, California.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Where are you from?" He's like, "I'm from Long Beach." Like, "You're saying it wrong." I am. Like, "Yeah, you're saying it wrong."
Better learn.
Anyways,
hey, say, you want to go to commercial already?
No, I'm just asking.
Oh, what the heck? I could put one of my commercials in.
Oh, let's do that.
Buy my shirts and mugs. There we go. There was the commercial. And then along that, you notice there was a nice model car guys shirt you can purchase over at the Teespring store. We've sold one so far, so I owe you some money because we sold a model car guys shirt.
Is that the one you bought for me?
No, I haven't bought it for you yet. I will be. That's going to be a special.
I bet I know who that was. I bet that was Mr. Frank Rizzo.
It was Mr. Frank Rizzo. He is our #1 fan. He was the one that was ready to send, who happens to be close to Long Island. He's from New Jersey. And that man, I thought he was going to put a hit out on me when he thought that I fired you.
Still processing.
And I got a little scared for a little bit there. I thought Mr. Rizzo was out for me, and whew.
Well, I actually he reached out to us because he had heard through the grapevine that we're going to be out there. So we've been chatting back and forth.
Oh yeah.
He's got some pretty big news because he's going to go to NNL East. He's got some big news about that, but it's his own story. He can tell. But I've been talking to him and my good friend Craig over at Mahler and Jason Hanscom.
Yeah.
Blue Ox and GI Mechanic. And gosh, I'm losing
The
track of
the
everybody they're
crew,
talking to,
man.
but
The Northeast crew.
uh, Peter McDonald, the lazy-eyed modeler up in Canada, he's
Hmm.
making a trek down with his crew. They apparently they drive down there every time they can, and I'm thinking that's just awesome. I can't wait to actually meet some more YouTube guys. You
And
know,
Doug White's going to be there.
oh, is he?
Oh
Well, that
yeah,
makes total sense. He's from the area, isn't he?
yeah.
So that's
And a
awesome.
lot of, I'll tell you what, you guys, there's a lot of people, are going to be there that are from the old crew days, and this modern round bunch of YouTubers and stuff like that, and just regular old model builders from the area. But that show's a big deal. It's been a big deal for
Well,
decades.
I've been told by people that have gone to both that and Acme that Acme is the little sister of the NNL East.
Yeah, yeah. Now,
I think
right
it's just
now,
specifically a regional thing because of where it's located.
yeah, and
But Acme's
so
catching up.
we'll see if you have to take any flack, because it allows so many people know that like we're kind of connected here. Because right now, some of the Northeast NNL people are not real happy with me right now. They did not get what I was saying, but that's for another story. Go
That's
watch my
another
videos.
that's another video.
Oh boy, nah. Those are great shows, and I'll tell you what. Speaking, I got to say this about before we get onto our subject of the day. Um, for those of you who imagine the mad ones probably aren't watching this because they hate me now. I made a few people heated up, but most people agreed with what I was saying. But I'm not going to get into what that was. But it brought attention to a model show that took place in Ohio called the Buckeye Classic. And I will say this, all the videos I've been watching, holy cow, what a show. It
Yep.
got me thinking, man, that might be one to put on the list of possibilities.
Yeah.
One to.
We I'm halfway through Tim Brown's video.
Yeah.
I watched his swap meet coverage.
Oh,
Great coverage. Great coverage.
the swap
And
meet was wow.
I got about halfway through the tables, and I was just like, man, the stuff
Out of
there
sight. Out of
out of
sight.
sight. And what's crazy is you see these regional shows, and then you go to IPMS, the nationals.
Yeah.
None of that stuff shows up.
No.
Because the guys that run the national stuff, they're like, oh yeah, we got a pretty good turnout for model cars. I'm like, okay, you've
Yeah.
got the guys that could make it this trip, but if you go to their hometowns, you're going to see some crazy stuff.
The thing about it is, and I think we're starting to bridge this gap. There has been a split for decades and decades and decades between
That's 30 years.
IPMS. What's that?
That's 30 years.
Yeah, for IPMS and anything model cars, it has been two separate worlds, and IPMS has started to open up a little more. I know our regional one, I know a few other regional ones are starting to open up a little more to the model car guys. And maybe like with what we're doing here locally with our group and IPMS, maybe we can end this where it can be it cannot be such a split. Maybe these great model builders, as far as model car builders, will start coming to the IPMS nationals.
I fully agree, and I really hope so, because
It would be nice, but there has been a bad stigma, and not blaming anybody, because I tell you what, I went to the last IPMS show before the one that we went and judged at. I hadn't been to that show since 2001, and believe me, I left that show not pleased. And this last show, I could definitely see, wow, and also speaking to the guys that are kind of involved with it now. So different attitude towards the model car guys that is really great.
right.
They were really grateful to and really super cool to us when we helped them out with that, and they're really open to letting us grab the ball and run with it. So I will be becoming an IPMS member, and you would have never heard that from Luka C or that other guy Matt Conti. I would have never ever joined IPMS, but that's something that you and I and our brother Chuck are working on here locally, eh?
I guess I didn't glue that in. I'm dusting off my generally.
Oh, generally.
Yeah, generally speaking. This was the first kit that I built getting back into model building back in 1998.
Oh, really? So that is
Mhm.
that is a late 90s. But you did the interior black. Am I rivet counting?
Uh, because there's no rivets in this. I honest to goodness, 1998 there wasn't good interneting yet,
True.
and you know, box art wasn't exactly accurate. I mean,
Oh, was it? It was on the bot. It was.
it's got the 500 body. I don't even think I
Yeah.
don't even remember. I just remember going, you know what, this is gonna look good in black. So, or maybe that's the only color I had. So I brush painted this whole thing, and
Oh boy.
the body I actually polished and then decaled.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, but the engine, actually, one of my very first wiring jobs is on that engine.
Ta-da!
I'll have to send you a picture.
You should send me a picture and I'll put it right. Do you want to do the snap? You do it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah. Well, hey, why don't we get on subject? What's our subject today, BG?
Our subject today is it's all about the SAC, the USAC, your SAC.
Or your sack or my sack? Yes, the
It's
USAC, which
everybody's
stands
SAC.
for United Scale Automotive Content Creators. As many of you know, this was our second year that we all will kind of do this group build that starts in September 15th. It gets announced September 1st, and then it goes to the upcoming January 15th. So it's kind of like how NFL is, where the season could be 2022, but the Super Bowl was held for that season in 2023. So that can get confusing. So the wrap up was this year, but it wasn't this year's build. It was last year's build. Did I just make everything confusing?
Not at all.
Yeah. Well, why am I confused? Anyways, it was our second one. Our first one was I was the one who picked the very first one. We all pick whoever's the one to pick is the one who it's got to be a model that's real special to you. And then, it was me and it was Mark Batson, Hobbydude007, who may be stopping in here in a little bit.
So just to clarify for everybody out there, the last two USAC builds have been hosted by Nuttin in the Noggin and Busted Head.
Correct. So now you understand
I'm
how
waiting to see what the triumvirate's going to be with this year.
Well, so I picked the 40 Ford because that kit was very special to me. Mark picked this kit here because it was special to him. He told that story. So we all had to build one of these. And the 40 Ford one was it was a very successful build challenge, and we had a great time. It was fun. And there was just a few people who got in it, but this year was bonkers. It was bananas. There was like over 40 people involved in this one.
Yeah, there was.
It was,
and there was a lot of guys that were building that didn't have YouTube channels also.
yeah, there were guys because now the Unified Scale Automotive Content Creators, that's not just YouTubers, that's anybody who has a online presence that has to do with the model car hobby.
Active online presence.
Active, yeah, and it's not like if you just happen to have a Facebook group that you run. No, it's like you do regular like series or something like on Instagram, or if you have a Facebook page, or it's something that you're constantly putting things that are something giving back to the hobby. How's that?
Sounds good. We'll go
All right,
that.
let's roll with that. Anyways, and we've been growing in membership on there. You have to, I mean, Mark had said it in his video because today the announcement was made who's getting it next year.
He's getting it.
And Well, that's out. So I mean that will be. We will find out on September 1st when we do our announcement
Announcement.
video.
Announcement.
That
Are you
that will
going to
be
strictly do that
Matthew
on?
from Mal. So we've got 6 months to sweat and worry. What
Mhm.
is Matthew gonna pick? Gonna be watching his videos. What did he say was like his? Oh, not that 48 Ford, is it? Well, he owns all the kits, right? That's what.
He owns all the kits. He's got the bumper crap of those.
Yeah. But
You know what he could do though? He probably has enough of those to send them out to us, have us build them, and we got to send them back.
there you go. Or he could be real entrepreneurial and he could sell them for really high price to all of us and
We would
be a
buy them.
bud.
We would buy them.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to be that mean.
And that the one that I get is going to have the squished roof.
Oh, 100%. I know it's going to be the one that has a squished roof because that's how that rain cloud flies over your head.
Yes. That's how my rain cloud likes to float.
Yeah. But I tell you, this one was an absolute blast. It was so fun. There was some serendipity involved that I really got a kick out of. You like that? I use that word and I know what it means too.
I know what doodah dippity means.
Doo-dah-dippity-ay. So it's kind of funny. That was when Mark on September 1st, when he made his announcement that it was going to be either the Monogram GTX or the Revell Roadrunner, same kit. At that time, the kit hadn't been out for a while, and people were asking big money on eBay for them. And there were so many of them, like you were one of them, that, oh, I don't have that kit in my stash. Ah! Now you got several, huh?
Now I've got several, so I can make one car.
And that was a travesty in its own. But it was kind of funny, like within a week or two after we started it, Revell announced that they were bringing the kit back, and then after the announcement, they pretty much had it on the shelves like in weeks. I've never seen anything like a kit get announced and then it's out.
Do you wonder if perhaps Revell is watching us and then somebody in some dark office someplace is watching us and goes, presses the red button on the red phone and goes, get me marketing.
Yeah, they pay attention.
We're going to make our quarterly market this year.
Oh, we made them money. They better be sending us a check.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad about the 44 though, because AMT would have been cleaning up on that one too.
Yeah, but they had
But
already
most
pumped
of
out
us already had
460,000. Everybody had 44.
Most of us already had one in the stash.
Yeah. Yeah, that one has been put out so many times.
I even hunted down one for Fred Henry.
Yeah.
And then he was like, we did this deal where I found the kit for him, sent it off to him. He was very grateful and appreciative of it. He says, like, I got your back when you come out to Acme. We'll hit the sales floor. We'll go shopping, and I'll get you something. I'm like, done. Okay, done.
That works.
But we were so busy that never happened. And then I get home, a couple weeks go by, and Fred's like, by the way, I never got a chance to say thank you and take you and go shopping with you at the show. I'm like, don't worry about it. It's all right. He's like, no, it's okay. Watch the mailbox. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. And then 3 kits show up and they are all freaking awesome. And I'm like,
yeah, they were like Tamiya kits and stuff.
Yeah. I'm like Oshimas and Tamiyas and stuff. I'm like, I didn't do it for the reward. I did it to help out a buddy, but the camaraderie in this group,
that's been the fun thing, is the friendship and camaraderie,
right? Which is why I'm wearing my classic plastic 101 hat today.
Yep, honor of a fallen comrade.
Yep. Exactly.
Yep,
exactly.
I didn't follow him like you did. Let's just take a moment, and why don't you just say a little something?
Oh, okay. Well,
just let people who don't know who Classic Plastic 101 was.
Classic Plastic 101. Well, so it was Chris Cortell, and he'd been on YouTube for about 10 years at this point, and he built literally anything.
Yeah.
And he didn't just slap it together and put some paint on it. No, he that man was an actual true artist.
Yeah.
And then he would take it that next level. Now he wouldn't really do like wiring of engine bays and stuff, but he'd put lights and stuff. He would have little effects and things. That's what caught my eye. Was I remember doing a search one time about lighting up a spaceship kit, and
Mm.
then I don't remember the video what it was, but I do remember him just being, okay, you just link these together and you solder this, and you do that, and then he goes, easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'm like, okay, all right, I gotta subscribe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then over the years, he was very, very good about putting up with us noobs and our wacky questions of exactly what is sprue goo, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was just like the best analogy it can come up with would be everybody in their school history would have had that one instructor, maybe it was a shop teacher, something like that, that was just really cool and had this that had the patience and the time to step aside and be like, this is how you do this. Here's how you do this better. Why
Yeah.
don't you push yourself to try doing something else? Fred Henry himself was like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this other type of genre build. And Chris is like, it's about time, because
Yeah.
he wants to see other people doing other things and stuff. And I'll tell everybody right now, my channel was based on that principle.
Yeah.
Uh, Not just doing the model cars. Love model cars to death. Have a few,
You do.
but also have my spaceships and my figures and
Yeah.
my 3D printed stuff and everything. So I mean, I like doing it all.
Yeah, definitely. And I didn't really watch much of him, and now I went back and I looked at a few of his stuff. I did, like, whenever there was something that he put out that was something that I had some interest in, he would come up in my feed and I'd check it out, or I'd do a search for something. The one thing that I noticed about him, especially, of recent, the amount of people that he inspired, and
Mm-hmm.
that's something special. He didn't become a big YouTuber, so a lot of you that are watching might have never heard of him. We've mentioned him quite a few times through you. I mean, I give you the credit on that. You're the one who followed him really well. But it kind of was, when this all happened, I was really going, wow. I was, how, he touched a lot of people in a
Yes.
really positive way. That's someone special who, did something positive for the hobby.
Right.
And I went over. You were there last Friday? It was like a day or
Yeah.
two after his death that Fred Henry did a really wonderful his live stream that with the
Right.
chat and everything, and
It
everybody was
was
pretty
it was
cool.
almost
And
like a memorial
yeah,
service.
it was really cool. I mean, I got on there and hung out and just read it what everybody was saying about him and what Fred was talking about, and that was pretty cool. It was very cool.
Yeah.
And
So
and that, hey man, that's cool. And his videos are still there.
yep,
So go
for
check it out.
posterity.
If you
For
haven't, go check
posterity.
it out. What the heck? But that's cool, and you're doing a tribute wearing the hat,
Yep.
which a lot of people are kind of jealous that you have a hat because that was a rarity. The hat, from what I
Back when I
understand.
first started doing the YouTube thing, he was just, I think, newly diagnosed with lung cancer
Yeah,
and had been away for a little while. And his brother Mike, who's also a prolific model builder, I understand, he hosted this thing where you could do a Patreon. It wasn't a Patreon; it was like a Teespring thing. It was some way to generate some revenue to help with their medical bills.
right.
So I don't remember how much it was, 15, something like that. Got a hat. I want to say I got a coffee mug too, but I don't think I
Wow.
did. But got a hat and a shop card, and always kept this is very, very clean because I always kept this tucked away because it was very special,
Yeah.
And so yeah, so it was a good way to help them out, but they didn't do anything else like that later on. So
Yeah. So there isn't a lot of those out there.
I think when Chris found out about what his brother had done for him, he was just like stunned.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what.
Is it time for
We're
cereal?
yeah. Let's take a little break here. Uh, And we're going to come back and we're going to talk a bit more about this USAC stuff. And I
Yeah,
think
but
we're going to have a visitor.
oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. So
I
we
haven't
will.
heard him. I haven't heard him screaming or running in yet, so I wonder what's up.
Oh, you're talking about the boss? Oh
Yeah.
no, he's preoccupied with cartoons and stuff that he's watching. He gets into his own world, and I don't know. He'll probably come in and
It's
beat
funny you
on us in
mentioned
a little bit.
it's funny you mentioned that. Before you sent the text, that's what I was doing.
Watching cartoons. No,
I
I'm
may have a thumb drive with every GI Joe cartoon on it laying around here someplace.
well,
Like, you
no,
know,
I'm speaking more that we'll probably be pretty soon here having. I'm waiting for his text because he's out running around. We're gonna have Mr. Mark Batson, Hobbydude007 on because he's kind of like a big part of this thing, and we want to get. I don't know. We're all gonna just talk about it
sounds good to me.
on account of its model car stuff because that's what we do here on the model car guys, right?
That's right.
You know what? We never even
We
did our
never
little.
did the thing.
We better do. Let's get that. Wow, this thing's all
Okay.
over the place. Let's do it. We might as well start the show.
Which side are you on?
Yes.
Are we,
Yeah. Yes.
Are we recording?
Yes. We are still recording. So we'll just let's do the intro. It'll be this is BG
And that's Luka C,
and we are
the model car guys
on the YouTubes.
on the YouTubes.
On the YouTubes.
I don't think I can make those jokes anymore. I found out that I have a follower in Germany. And turns out he lives 2 hours from the village that my family hails from.
No kidding, really?
Yep. Been talking to him back and forth a little bit. Very cool guy.
What village is that?
The village of Gugamos.
Oh, what your name is.
And I would bet even money that my family probably owes his family money.
That's why they skipped the country. Went to the Americas. We'll just leave it at that. All right, everyone. We will be right back after these messages. We'll be right back. You're watching the Luka C channel on YouTube. Hey, we got Mark Batson. We come back and bring in Hobbydude007. He's down there. We're up above you. Just so you know,
Yeah.
you can do the yep. To your left is me, the right is BG. We're right over you. We can do that. What is that?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, there you go. we can do what is the Brady. I blew that joke. That joke's over. Forget it. The Brady Bunch
the Brady
thing.
Bunch thing. Yeah.
Yes. You know, when we were talking about doing this show, he's like, you could be the color commentator. I'm like, oh, yeah, I know all about colors.
So we have Hobbydude007, Mr. Mark Batson, with us today because, as everyone knows, we had this wonderful unified content creators, something or other, whatever, the USACC or USACC or whatever. Our second group build. And I got mine right here.
Let's get it right, guy.
Yeah.
Unified content.
Well, now
Unified scale automotive content creator.
Yeah. Unified scale automotive content creator.
There we go. There we go. There we got it. Yes.
It's
What
really
a
easy. It's USACC.
There you go. What a successful group build we had. So many people, and
Wow, yeah.
we've already discussed it. You put out your video on who the next victim is, who gets to pick out.
And I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, and there it was, Mr. Matthew from Model Cars Videos, and we're all shaking in our boots, going, "Are we all going to have to find a Tester's 48 Ford?"
Well, on the way back from Roanoke, I was joking with him. I said, listen, if you get picked, are we all going to have to do a 4840? He said, probably not, because I own them all.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. You know, he yeah, and I sent him a text saying that same thing. Oh gosh, do I got to locate one of those?
Well, Matt
But
Matt had a good point that he's such a good entrepreneur. He'll probably rent out the kits to us so that we
Yeah.
have to build them and send them back.
there you go. There you go. But yeah, I mean, actually, he has a lot of. You can only wonder what it's going to be, and you know what? We have to sit and wonder because even you and I, even though Mark, you and I will be, doing the presentation when it starts on September 1st, we're not even going to know. Matthew's got to keep it to himself.
September 1.
Yep, we're all going to be wondering, and then we got to scurry to get our kits for
now,
the 15th.
With that being said, that doesn't mean I'm not going to drop hints to Matthew.
I was a success. The one thing is this is probably going to get him more views now. All of us who are interested in getting into it this year will be going over his whole channel, finding out what are the kits that he talks about that are like, start writing down. He talked about how this kit meant something to him. That kit meant his dad, had this kit and built. I know he's got a few of them like that. So he could
when you find out your niece is dating a new guy and you're like, oh, it's time to go to Facebook.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, Brian, it's time to break out the big BG.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what? I don't even have one of those. I just got this little dude right here.
Yeah.
They're in production right now.
Yeah. Along with Hobby Knife.
Linda was laughing about you saying coming out with the Mrs. BG knife.
Oh, the Lady BG version.
Lady BG, yeah. The Mrs. BG. It's all pink.
Yeah. That killed me though when he dropped that big knife and and BG. It's just
that was the best. Well done, sir. Well played. I tip my hat to you.
Yes, they were enjoyable.
It's fun. It's fun.
That was enjoyable. Yeah, and of course, some of you might recognize who watched my channel a lot. Notice that Mark, he does a lot of cameo appearances on a lot of my videos because he just, I don't know, he drops this gold that are great little inserts. I love stealing from him, from his channel, and putting them in.
No! Wait, what? Where are the tires? And you know how those ideas float by your head, Well, I just reached out and grabbed one. Cool! What? No.
I have a good time with it. Yep. It's in the mail, buddy. It's in the mail.
Putting Mark Batson in your video is like sprinkling bacon on your salad.
It is. That's a great way to put it. It is. It's totally. That is totally.
The only reason why I watch your show.
Oh, good. Oh, well, at least I got something that brings you on. We'll have to call old Knothead down here, Concrete Head. There's another nickname for him is Bacon Bits. Oh, that's a terrible joke. Forget about that.
Oh boy.
Let me ask legal.
No, that one's out. Oh boy, yeah, and boy, the program director, he hasn't come blasting in here yet with trying to straighten us out. He's got to be watching this on the monitors. Hey, he's probably watching Bugs Bunny.
Well, Brian, that fits the B and B, the black and blue, bacon and bits. So
bacon bits. Here we go. So
I had to have some fun with that license plate, Mark.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah. That was great.
I was honored. I really was. I got a kick out of that too.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, it was what a fun build. I had such a good time with it. It changed obviously because of my procrastination, but
we saw so many things. We saw, like we said in that other video, we saw gassers, we saw barn finds, we saw street rods, showroom stock, which that was always the way I really liked the car, and lots of those in great colors. And then we had that one that was in multiple factory colors.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that was unique.
I got to do a shout out
to
Adam over at Sodak because I was watching his build. I'm like, okay, he did it in the white. That's an interesting color choice. And then when he rotated it, I was like,
yeah.
I think we all had that. I went, oh, look at that. That was cool. But, oh man, there were so many great ones. And then it's kind of funny with Tim Brown over at Power to the Throttle. I always got to bribe him into getting into this thing. Although, see, he's he's playing me. We know it. He's playing me just to get a free kit. But I always send him an absolute bag of garbage. And so, but you know, he built it, and look what he did with it. I mean, he took, because he didn't have an interior, and so he just, and there was a few other missing parts, and he just did that rusted up in front of a fence.
He's given me an idea though, with that that shop towel that's been wetted down, so you can mold it. I think I'm going to do that for the next build. I'm not going to build the model. I'm just going to form the towel over the top of the car and just show that, and just be like, there it is.
Yeah, there you go. That, hey, that is an easy way. There, whatever it is,
perfect for a 48 Ford.
Right? 48 Ford. There you go. You have the shape of a 48 Ford. You just put the tarp over it, and it's in the barn. Done with it. Handled. Sprinkle a few little punched out leaves.
You guys ever watch that TV show Friends? You guys ever watch that TV show Friends back in the day?
Once in a while.
Yeah.
One of the characters, I guess, had wanted a Porsche, so he got some cardboard boxes and shaped them like a Porsche out in front of their hotel, in front of their apartment building, and then covered it with a car cover that said Porsche on it.
There you go.
Yeah, and everybody thought he had a Porsche.
That's one way of doing it. We just build small versions of it.
Yeah,
I tell you, and this kit, it really made me. I was a fan of these Monogram 24 scale muscle cars series that they did in the 80s, pretty much. They were punching these out in the early 80s. And I really liked all the Mopar ones, and I grabbed like at least one of each. And it's got me like wanting to build more of them now, because I really, it really is a good kit.
It is, but it's got its flaws. And James came out and just told everybody, look, guys, this is a terrible kit when it comes to this. And he's right.
Yeah.
But it had all the right lines. It was well made, I guess, from the outside, but there was some stuff on the inside they took too many shortcuts on. But But you know, at the time, it was the only game in town.
It still is, really. It really
still is. But you know, we're modelers. If you put a little work into them, you'll be fine.
Well, this whole, you know, what did you say in your video that you kind of lost count at 41 of us? 41 people were involved in this?
I think I counted up to like 41. I think there's 87 members of the Unified Scale Automotive Content Creators Group. But I think there were 41 that I kept looking. And you know what? Every now and then I still find somebody, and I'll check to see, and they're not in the group, or some of them turns out they were, and just added them into the mix.
Yeah. Yep. And
yeah, because last time there was we didn't have much exposure going on for us.
No, for the 44. Well, you know what? We still had a decent amount of 40.
Yeah, there's still a lot of people in the 40, but it wasn't like that.
At the end.
No, it wasn't like this at all.
Yeah, when we first started, we had people just like thinking it was a group build and joining in on their channel doing the group build. I'm like, no, you got to join the group too. You know,
yeah.
Here's the link. Answer the questions. You're going to get in. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
So this year was a lot easier to police that. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, well, because
next year is going to be even better.
Yeah, and pretty much most everybody. Oh yeah, definitely, and most everybody, you know, was on the group, and because we do our announcement only on the group. Mark and I do an announcement on September the 1st, and this year on September the 1st, Mark and I will do an announcement and bring Matthew in, and he is going to tell us his pick. And good thing that we be doing it like this, so that I won't lunge over and strangle him when he's. No, I wouldn't do that to Matthew, but yeah, it'll be oh, fantastic, great. No, it should be interesting to see what he picks for us. But you know, hey, that's the point of it. You know, and I got to say, like, the whole thing of when we came up with this, Mark and I did. Mark was kind of like, it was originally, you know, your idea. You came to me, but it was supposed to be something that would be.
That's not me calling you.
No, it's not. It's someone else.
Okay.
And it wasn't Tim Brown. But no, Tim, but
butt dial.
But Mark, he first came to me with an idea to do a group build on my Facebook group about the 44 because, you know, I've done so many videos about how much I love that kit, and it was just something to honor my love for that kit. And I said, no, you know what we should do? And that's where the whole idea came about. And that's kind of what pushed us to start that Facebook group, just so we could be in communication with everybody that would be involved, that would be content creators. So, man, it's evolved into something so cool. And I think this is going to be something that goes on every year for a long time. Because everybody seemed to have a good time with it. I didn't hear any complaints.
Nope.
Except my complaints, but I complain about everything and everyone. So
who picked this kid?
No, but no,
here's an idea. Here's an idea. If you are a vendor for this upcoming Acme show, tune in on September 1st, find out what that kit is, stock up on that kit.
Very good idea.
Because people will be lining up at your table to buy that kit.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Whatever one that gets announced. There. Yeah, whatever one gets announced, especially if Matthew picks one that has been out of production. Boy, oh boy, whoever has some better bust them out.
Well, we almost had that with this 70.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
I had already seen that it was going to be released that month.
Yeah.
So, and it ended up being a little bit later, but it was still out in time.
What was nuts is, and which is a rarity, is when the model company, especially Revell, when they announce something, lots of times you're not going to see it for a year. They announced it and had it out within a couple of weeks after the announcement. Right. So everybody was like, you know, oh, I want to get involved, but I don't have a kit. Oh, they're bringing it back. It's back. I found it at Hobby Lobby. I found it at my local hobby shop. Like that, it all fell together like within a month. And I don't think we would have had the amount of people that we have if it wasn't for that.
Had it not been re-released, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Except, you know, BG had to buy 17 kits to make one. Because he kept having crushed roofs or missing pieces.
Right.
It was a little painful
in
the
beginning.
The
crash test versions.
Yeah, yeah. But I like then BG does. Your Darth Vader Roadrunner there. Yours was a Roadrunner, Batson. Right? Or was it a GT? Was yours?
Mine was a Roadrunner.
Was it a Roadrunner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easier to spell than GTX.
Yeah, I can say, hey. But yeah, and Marks, man, you're of course you would have done a Richard Petty Roadrunner, but man, that
was one of my favorites, and I did not have one, so I thought it's perfect time to do that.
You did
one.
It, right? I tell you, you nailed the look of the real car. You nailed it.
Thank you.
Oh yeah,
had plenty of pictures, so that made it.
Yeah, you did. And that is just a.
It was an impressive build, and the subtleties that you had done to it. You have to go back and look at another stock car, to see what the changes had been. Yeah. You know, because they were so subtle, and it's like, oh, he did a little bit more of a radius on this. He changed that a little bit, plugged this up, covered those over. You covered over the side markers and stuff. You know, I had to actually take a good look at it in the videos and be like, oh, okay, I see what he did there, other than just paint it and put it on a chassis.
Yeah, definitely.
But well done.
Very well done.
On the petty cars, where a lot of guys just put a little aluminum plate over the marker lights, you noticed on petties they were all, I guess, puttied in or something, because there was no indication.
Yeah, you never could find them.
Signals and backup lights, they had the covers over those bumpers.
Right.
Which it's kind of hard to do that over chrome. So.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But I tell you, man, well, they were always building just top-notch, beautiful race cars back then that could be show cars, where everybody's race cars were just kind of hollowed out, beat up hulls. But that's why the petties were what they were. But man, you did a great representation of that car. And then you got honored again in this build. I gotta mention this one was Mr. Tim Customs, we'll call him, because I always destroy his name.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh my God.
Man, that car, holy cow.
The body mods, the weld beads.
Yeah, that thing was
just beautiful. Beautiful.
Well, I was watching his video, and he says, I'm going to pie wedge the fenders. I'm like, oh, I'm not familiar with that. Okay, let's watch that. Okay, that's a cool idea. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to raise up the fender wells. Okay, that's cool. I'm going to do this to the back. Okay, that's great. And now I'm going to add on these weld teams. I'm like, I'm done. Bye.
Yeah, wow. I mean, he's already just, Tim's so well known for doing his radical customs and stuff, and looking right and being really clean.
And he put just that right twist to this this car. I mean,
it had such a cool look about it, and I love that he left it to where they took a, that's supposed to be original body paint on there, and they're not done with it, and they're probably just going to leave it that way, because I've seen a lot of cars done up, especially like a real big kick in the real automotive hobby world there is this thing of street legal race cars now, and people are taking stock, or like old cup cars, chassis and stuff like that, and they're putting old bodies on them just like that. Or they're taking an old race car
in Winston-Salem. There's a guy in Winston-Salem that drives it was a legitimate modified, asphalt modified. Well, you saw it in one of my videos last August.
Yeah, he wasn't racing anymore.
Parked out front. He added all the lights and turn signals and all the stuff that you're supposed to have, and he's driving around. Genuine modified on the street.
Yeah, because that was so cool. Because what did you say about that? He was it was his race car, and he was done with racing, but he's got the car. What the heck? Make it street legal. Have fun.
Man, it was sharp.
Yeah, I love it I always kind of thought that would be a cool idea, and then that started happening some like 10 years ago or so. People started really doing it, and I'm on a couple of Facebook groups that are dedicated to those guys who do that stuff, and it's so neat seeing things like that. But there was a couple of cars, like he was actually inspired by a real car they took an old NASCAR late model chassis, and they reskinned it with an old Monte Carlo body. And of course the wheel, it was on that Roadkill show on Motor Trend. And the wheelbase of the stock car chassis was way shorter than the wheelbase of the Monte Carlo body that they had. So they had to do a lot of fudging. And that's what Tim kind of captured. Yeah, no problem. Tim kind of captured with that car that he did. And if you notice, the wheelbase is a lot shorter, but it it worked.
Yeah, and the chassis he used was perfect for that.
Oh,
and
gosh,
I questioned that in my mind at first, but I thought, well, this is Tim.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. It's Tim. And we got to mention, go on the other end of the spectrum, James from Scale Model Experiment. That color, that's one of my favorite Mopar colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful color. And
nice representation.
That is always a great finish.
Yeah, nice representation of a factory stock, showroom stock Roadrunner. And there's just so many of them. Gee whiz, I don't want to leave anybody out, but this will be a 4-hour show.
I was just thinking of John Bailey.
Yeah.
He did the police car version.
Yes.
Yeah, that conversion.
Oh my goodness.
Awesome.
Yeah, and he was like,
the dude added doors.
But he not only added doors.
Did you notice the C-pillar adjustments?
Yeah.
Yes.
C-pillar and the back window. Everything was altered.
Yeah.
Well, a four-door sedan has a different C-pillar arrangement than a two-door hardtop.
Yeah, and the other things about it, I don't know how much of you watched his videos while he was doing that. First of all, he came in extremely late into the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and he really wasn't even a part of the group at the time. I contacted him and said, "Dude, that's awesome." He goes, "Why don't you join the group?" And he came in, and we let him get into that group. But he's over. Where is he? He's over in England, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he doesn't really have the opportunity to even see the real cars. And all the American model cars, they're not very plentiful over there. So he's kind of based his whole channel around getting build-ups and building beautiful model cars from, resurrecting build-ups, which is something I love to do. And
let me tell you, he's really
very talented.
I've got a good friend over in the UK, Gaz the K, his channel name, Gary Knight. He does all sorts of model car restoration stuff. Awesome work. I've actually sent him parts in the past.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was at a remember he'd contacted me and he's like, hey, you wouldn't happen to have the Studebaker Lark front end off of such and such Johan. I'm like, no, but let me write that down. And then I went to a model car swap meet and there's just bins of bumpers and front ends and stuff. I'm like,
oh, you're kidding me.
You go film. I'm going to dig through the bink, complete
You
with taillights.
found it. Oh my goodness. Found it
and I mailed it to him and he was like, are you serious?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. But yeah, just so many geez, there were so many of them, but what a great thing we got going here, and it's like creating a bond with all of us that it's really fun seeing what everybody will do with the same kit. I've always loved that thing.
That's what I look forward to, is just seeing, okay, what is this person going to do? And they do something that totally surprises you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just fun to see.
Finished it sort of, so that surprised me.
Sort of kind of.
There were rumors.
There were
the black Batson may make an appearance at NNL East.
Oh yeah, you got.
Well, that's right. Y'all are going to NNL East.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about that too.
They are. Me, I'm not.
We're going to be in North Carolina. Let me just ask my brain real fast here. Hello, brain. Still hooked on cereal. Okay. We will be back there starting April 13th.
13th, that's right.
Yeah. So we fly in the 13th and then we'll be there from the 14th until the 21st. I've heard rumors that there's this really cool museum out there for the petty cars.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, so I might
I've heard about that.
Yeah. And there's like a really awesome model shop out there someplace.
Oh yeah, new one popping.
They do car restorations and stuff too.
Let's see. Seems like there is a garage that's got a petty blue sign in front of it as well. Yeah.
So I might have to do some investigations.
Yeah. You got some roaming to do that week.
Visit and see if that's true about that time.
Yeah.
It's going to be my wife's rental car through work. They're going to be like 7,000 miles.
Oh. Shh, keep that on the DL.
It's all right. I'll Ferris Bueller the thing, put it in reverse up on.
Yeah, that works. That works. We know that. Yeah. What we were kind of like going over at once, BG, of like how long it would take you to get the petties, how long would it take you to get down by Mark, how long it would take you to get, because you're like also going to go check out the new shop of
Wings, Wheels,
Michael Guest's new shop, which is MCW. You're just down the road from that, aren't you?
Yeah, they're like 15 minutes away, and I have a list of engine colors.
Are you talking about MCW's new location?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's not really that close to that.
Where he's at, where BG's staying, it is.
Oh, where you're staying is.
Yeah. So we're going to be outside of Roanoke. No, not Roanoke. Raleigh, Durham area. So
yeah,
right outside of there. So there's that, and there's also another place called
southeast of that.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the Greensboro area. I'm gonna go, not quite. Okay.
No.
Nah, we wanna. I'm hoping that Linda doesn't get stuck, at the office for too long, because we want to go out exploring and check stuff out.
Oh, heck yeah, that's a great place to explore, I'll tell you. It's just fun to take drives in that part of the country. They're just driving down the road, you find so many cool things.
That's awesome.
Back roads, it's awesome. You'll still find old stores, general stores and stuff like that. Some of them will have old gas pumps sitting in front, and
that doesn't exist here.
No.
You drive around out here, if you see something on the side of the road, it's usually a dead cat.
Lots of them. Arizona, yay!
And we just found out yesterday that she's going to be going in June to Boston.
Boston?
Yeah, for a week in Boston. So I'm like, cool.
This was kind of an interesting show we had going, and we really want to thank you there, Mr. Hobbydude007, for coming on. This is neat. We tried this once before, and this time it worked. So we got. It's neat having a guest pop in with the face instead of.
Well, I've said this a couple times, but to me, it's worth saying again, and that is thank you to you, BG, the whole community, for allowing that extra time for me to kind of bounce back a little.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure it's completely done yet, but thanks for doing that. That means a lot to me, and thanks for everybody that did jump in and build this.
Yeah,
it's a special car for me, and it means a lot to my heart that you jumped on it and you did such a great job with it. You really did.
Yeah, everybody was fantastic, and yeah, definitely. Well, when we first heard about that, you're so lighthearted about things that we make jokes and funny things, and you've incorporated it into your channel on its own. But that was a serious spill you took, and that could have gone a different direction. We are so grateful that we still got our Hobbydude007 mark.
Even the doctor said that night this could have been very, very much worse. They recalled not that long ago that someone did something similar, and they died. Head injuries can be and I'm not trying to play it down to like, oh, it was nothing, because apparently, because they kept doing CTs on the facial bones and the skull, and that concerned me a little bit at first. But
I have a brother-in-law that was in a motorcycle accident without a helmet, and he was fine at the scene of the accident, fine-ish.
Yeah.
And then by the time they got him to the hospital, he was comatose because he had a brain bleed they didn't know about.
Yeah.
So that took him out. He had to learn how to walk again, and all the horrible things that go along with
I'm extremely grateful that it was not as bad. I know it scared Amanda to death, because when she gets out and comes around the back of the SUV, all she sees is me laying in the rain on my side, and my head has got this big puddle of blood around it. And I'm just
sleeping.
Death, bless her heart. And
wow.
Thank goodness you weren't alone.
Very much worse.
Yeah.
Thank goodness you weren't there by yourself.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. And we all in the hobby. That's why we did what we did. And this whole build was your honor this year. And we are so grateful that nothing really bad happened with that. And we still got Mark Batson with us. So we want to keep it like that for a while, man. We have fun, man. We have a lot of fun, and I want to get to another show back east, and you and us, all of us, kind of hanging out like we did at the Acme show in 21. Man, that was like one of the most funnest experiences.
This new location
ever.
This year, this is really, I was excited when Fred took us through with the group.
Yeah,
I was excited to see all that and to hear. I didn't realize until last year that they actually had to turn down every year in the old location.
Yeah.
15 vendors they had to turn down every year. This year, that's not going to be an issue.
No,
so
that place is huge.
I got a friend that's bought 2 tables. Excuse me, he's got 2 tables he's going to be selling stuff at. Him and a friend are going to be sitting there selling stuff. I'm like, you're going home with more stuff than you're taking, right?
I'm going to say these 15 extra vendors. It only, it's great except for my wallet.
Yeah, I'll need 15 extra wallets.
Yeah, I might have to drive there, not fly.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, if you do, I'll have some stuff for you to carry back.
Oh, I'm sure you would.
Because last time I may have left some clothes in the hotel room just to fit stuff.
Hey, in the you've got priorities. That's what that shows.
Yeah.
Well, the way we did that. When the crew down here, there was 4 or 5 of us that would drive to Toledo every year.
Oh yeah.
We pitched in together, rented a van, which knocked the price way down. And then we drove it up there. That way we had plenty of space to put all the stuff that we brought back from the
Well, there was a group of us when we go to shows in California. We always rented a minivan or something because we knew we were going to need the room, because we were all going to be buying a lot of.
So five guys go out, 4 guys come back.
That too.
Where's Roy? Priorities, man.
Well, we had a lot of. Roy didn't buy as much, so
Roy hung onto the bumper as long as he could for the first mile.
God bless his little soul. Oh boy. Well, hey, Mark, we thank you so much for coming on with us.
Yes.
This was
Thank
a
you
lot
for
of
having
fun.
me, both of you. I always enjoy y'all's show.
Yeah,
Well,
and
thank
you know, BG, I think we need to make Mark do a sign off for us.
That sounds good to me.
Do our
Bye.
sign off later, and see. I guess Mark will be going to Andy's with us, huh?
Oh yeah.
You'll have
He's
to wait a
buying
little while,
tacos.
but I'll be there.
We'll wait. We'll
Well,
wait. All right. So
see you Tuesday.
yeah, there you go. So what what do we do?
Keep on gluing those fingers together and sawing the styrene. And here's the producers.
Ah, there we go. We'll go with that.
I don't
Awesome.
know if something ever happens.
Oh, there. Oh yeah. Wait. Okay, we're going to Andy's. Bye. Okay, we all can come back.
This doesn't look like Andy's at all. And I will always have glue.